Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
To create a quote, select Tasks from the menu bar, roll over the Quotes and Sales Orders command, and then choose the Quotes command from the side menu that appears to open up the Quotes window where you can create a quote to send to a customer that requests one. Begin by selecting the ID of the customer or prospect that will be receiving the quote from the Customer ID field. You must have the customer entered into your customer list to create a quote for them. If you plan on printing the quote, then leave the quote number field blank. If you manually created a quote in an external program and are simply recording it into Sage 50, then enter the quote number that you assigned to the customer in the quote number field. Enter the date that the quote was created into the date field. The Bill To and Ship To fields will display the information for the selected customer. You can change the Ship To fields by clicking the gray arrow that appears next to the Ship To field's title and selecting a different shipping address for the customer if one was entered. You can also specify a drop shipment by checking the Drop Ship checkbox. The Good Through field will display a date that is 1 month away from the Date field's value by default. You can change this if necessary. In the Customer PO field, enter the customer's purchase order number if applicable. Select the shipping method from the Ship Via field's drop-down menu of choices if needed. You can also select a sales rep ID from the sales rep field. You can also enter the accounts receivable account that the quote will debit once it's converted into an invoice in the AR account field if shown on screen. This field will default to the last account used in a sales transaction if it is shown within the form, and you can change it if needed. Then enter the quantity of the first item ordered into the Quantity field. Select the item that they are ordering from the adjacent Item field's drop-down menu of choices. The description for the selected item will display in the Description field. You can manually enter a description for items that you don't track through inventory. If shown on screen, the General Ledger Account column will display the account set up for the selected item. When ordering items not in inventory, the customer's sales account will display here. You can change this if necessary. It's also important to remember that this will not affect the general ledger until you convert the quote into a sales order or sales invoice. In the Unit Price field, you'll see the sales price of the selected item. If it's an item that you don't track as inventory, then you will need to enter the price into this field. The Tax field will display the item tax type for the selected item. If this is not an inventory item, then you'll need to manually select a tax type from the field. The Amount field will simply display the quantity times the unit price. If you're entering a non-inventory item, you can enter the total price of the item order in this field if needed. If this quote is for a specific job, you can also enter the job in the Job field drop-down. The amount will not actually be applied to the job, however, until the quote is converted into an invoice. In the Sales Tax Code field, you'll see the sales tax code for the selected customer. If you need to change the sales tax code, simply select one from the list. Finally, enter any freight charges applicable to this transaction into the Freight field. When you're done, you can click the Print button to print the quote, or simply click the Save button in the toolbar at the top of the window to save the quote.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.